So, hi everybody, and welcome back to my series of how to run a faster 5K. Uh, Today, we're going to just have a quick think about why it's important to race over distances other than 5K if you want to excel at this distance. Um, so, to some extent, it combines the two areas that we've already looked at, which were building an aerobic base and also introducing some speed work into your plan. So the principle of racing longer and shorter kind of feeds into that idea, really, that you should be able to go longer, you should be able to run faster and shorter, and that those two elements combined will help you to run or like the perfect 5K. So if you only ever run 5K distance, you'll become very much a one-trick pony. So you'll be a very 5K running specific runner, which is not really ideal from a long-term development point of view, because you might not want to be running 5Ks forever, and you get very stuck in your pace and stuck at that kind of level. You'll find that if you can introduce some longer distance races, and they don't need to be incredibly long distance if you're primarily a 5K runner, but you could do a few 10Ks, maybe even the odd half marathon, and that background, that miles in the legs kind of racing approach may well yield benefits over the shorter distance as well. Equally, you should certainly consider joining a club and being able to do regular races on the track, ideally. I did a bit of this when I was younger, and it really did inject a lot of speed into my 5K pace. So even if you don't join a club, make sure you get some of those shorter distances in. And it's quite difficult to find races much shorter than 5K, but probably the next best thing, really, if you can't find them, is to do time trial efforts and monitor your times quite closely and be quite competitive about it, as you would in a race situation. Not quite the same as a race, because the race will always bring out that extra something in you, because you're competing with other people, and it's very hard to switch off that competitive instinct. So, but in order to be able to race fast, you need lots of experience of racing fast, essentially. So, all fitness is very specific. So, if you just only ever do long, slow distance runs, you will train your body to do long, slow distance runs. Equally, if you only ever do 1 kilometre sprints flat out, that's what your body will think it needs to do and nothing else. So mixing up the different modalities and different distances and racing over different distances just gives you that adaptability and flexibility to develop as a runner and to improve your times over all distances ultimately. So that's why I personally believe it's important to race regularly and not just over the 5K distance. And certainly it worked for me when I was a lot younger. When I was in my 30s, I used to race sometimes 3-4 times a week even, and I'm convinced that that's what really took me to the faster times. In fact, I even remember doing a 10-mile race one Sunday morning on one side of London, and then just jumping straight in my car and racing across the other side of London to do a cross-country race in the afternoon. So regularly racing 3-4 times a week in those days, but I wouldn't recommend that to you, and it's very expensive to do that these days. But do race frequently and do mix up the distances to become a better runner. Okay, so I hope that's given you some clear insights into why you need to race faster over different distances. You do need to, like a Premiership footballer who hasn't, played, been out injured maybe for a few months, he needs 4 or 5 games before he's really match fit. Again, so it's that regularity of the intense effort that actually gets you to where you want to be, and there's no other way of getting there ultimately, I would suggest, particularly over the shorter, more intense efforts like 5k. Okay, so if you want to know any more about how to prepare for 5k, if you've got any questions, please post them below. Alternatively, email me at info@roadtofreedom.net or give me a call, and we'll have a chat about where your running's going and how to get the best out of yourself. So that's it for now. Next time we'll look a little bit more at some of the lifestyle pieces around 5k performance, because it's all part of the same scenario really. You can't just ignore any one particular element. But that's it for now. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and like my video. Bye.